I'll give you a really good example, and it's this is in my book, which is The Solution Mindset, coming out with Wiley and Sons December 31st on pre-order now. When you listen to this podcast, please go get a copy. Amazon, Walmart, Barnes and Noble, Books a Million, wherever you buy book. American Airlines in the early 80s had a program called the AA Pass. And they did a ton of research, I think several years of research. And the data showed that they could price some ticket at some really high amount and that very few people would buy it. And the people that would buy it would be like a gold mine of profit for the airline. And this is what the program was. It was a pass. You paid, I think it was $250,000 or $500,000. This is back in the 80s. So adjusted for inflation, it'd be like $10 million today. Not that much, but it would be very expensive given all the inflation going on. And the data showed them that very few people would buy the pass, that people who had that kind of money flew private anyway. They didn't need to fly American Airlines, a scheduled service, on and on. And literally that data that they had was completely wrong. It was completely wrong. There was two or three people that used the pass nonstop. They would go to Tokyo on the weekend just to have lunch and fly back. It gave you a first class ticket and they used it nonstop. American Airlines is still litigating these cases because they sold people the pass. These people are using it from the 80s. And at last I checked, and the numbers are in the book, something like $1 billion of loss on 5 or 6 customers that use the nonstop. So the data system and the way that we look at our decision making is completely broken. We need to balance creative and analytical tools to get a complete picture of what's going on. The data will never show you that there is a guy in Chicago whose life mission is to fly every freaking day if he could possibly do it and pay 5 or a $500,000 for that privilege. And there's somebody in Detroit and Denver who feel the exact same way. And what do we do with this customer? How do we do it? How do we move forward, be profitable, but still offer the service? It's not in the existing data set. So we need to forever change the way that we look at numbers, forever change the way that we look at analytics, balance it with a creative mindset, with a solution mindset, and figure out a way to make better decisions. Hey, this guy would do it just to get every single dollar back and then some. And there's this guy who would do it from an emotional reason just because he wants to go to Tokyo or France every weekend for whatever reason. And there's that person who just loves to be in an airplane and will fly back and forth all day and do their phone calls and their work or whatever email from the airplane just to be 30,000 feet up. Those things don't show up in any kind of data sheet. It's just something that you know from knowing human nature. And until we balance those two things, human nature and our quest for analytics, we'll never get to where we are. Creativity is a window and a key to unlock why it is that human beings do what they do so that we can better balance out our analytical structures.